Hey there, everyone. Welcome to A Slice of Life with Kellie and Jon. Thanks for joining us today. We have a guest. Vera, when I was looking through your resume and all the stuff you've done, I would say she's an overachiever. Vera VanGuard. So welcome to the podcast, Vera. I'm so excited to
Hello,
hear
hello.
everything about you. And let's start with Jon. You guys tell us how you met and
Wow,
your
that's a good question, Vera. I was thinking of that where it could have been that we met. Certainly in L.A.
Well,
When
I
I
remember it was
when
a
I,
writing workshop.
there you go. Do you know which one? Was it the one in
Nope.
Studio City, uh,
Yes,
or no, or was it for screenwriters only, or was it for? Because there were a couple I belonged to.
there was one where I was one of the actor wannabes that were reading the scripts. Like the writers would write, and we were the
Yeah, but
people
that
that read.
that was normal for both of them
Ah,
that I was in. I tend to think you were in the wow, it's been so long I can't even remember the name of it. But yes, I certainly would have met you at one of those, and then certainly would have used you in one of my screenplay or more than one
mhm.
of my screenplay readings and stuff. So that's where we met, and that's when I realized, especially over the years. That Vera was very special in what she was doing and how she had stepped away from a lot of the standard way that things took place in Hollywood and took control of her own career. And certainly, I'll let her talk about that. But that's how we connected. And I know if I look in my electronic phone book, it has the year that we connected. I'm actually pretty afraid to do that right now. But it's been a while. I would say at least if not 15, maybe closer to 20 years ago. So
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go.
And we still look like we're teenagers today.
Absolutely.
you look awesome. Yeah. Um, but then now my other curiosity is you called Jon your mentor, your writing mentor. You
Yes,
guys probably
yes.
crossed paths quite a few times and in these
When we
workshops.
after the workshop, uh I started to ask Jon like, "Hey, I'm learning writing. I was learning to write. I never really wanted to be an actor because can we curse on this show?
Sure. Uh,
Cuz
I say sure, but it's,
Yeah, I'll bleep it out. YouTube won't like it, so we have to be careful.
okay. I'll be careful because I just to me acting was not my path. Like I thought I wanted it and then I was like, no, no, no. The power is in the written word. The power is in the IP. The power is in producing. Like I don't want to be begging people to hire me. I want to be the person hiring. And so I wanted to learn how to write, and that's why I was at these writing workshops. But I I would get up and volunteer myself as a talent, and I would always get laughs because I'm a comedy person. That's my thing. I love to make people laugh. So I think that's what attracted Jon because I was like funny and stuff. And then I was like, Jon, help me write this horrible script I got. So Jon, I would come over and Jon would read a few pages of this absolute piece of trash script
No.
that I wrote about a bunch of Valley girls who were hit women, and the script was called Hit Women. And he would read a few pages, he would vomit in his mouth a little bit, but he would give me great notes, and that was how I started writing. I that he was my first mentor who took the time to go, this is garbage, this is trash. Why the hell did you write this? What even is this? And because we're all East Coast, hey, forget about it kind of people, I appreciated that. I wasn't like, oh, my ego.
Well,
So I kept writing and I kept writing and I kept writing until I started to actually produce my own little movies. And what we're talking about today, with if you see these two, this is from my latest feature film that came out this year. It's called Apocalypse Love, and it's a emo gothic love story set in a zombie alien apocalypse. So So, you know,
A
it
mouthful.
may have gotten better. It may have gotten worse since women.
Well, I watched the trailer for that. First of all, you won a ton of awards,
Yeah.
like more than a ton. Like
Yeah.
you need a whole warehouse probably for all these awards that you won.
Thank
And
you.
I watched the trailer and I was just amazed. Like there's just so many things, you know, when you're thinking about making this, you know, writing it, the music really added a lot, picking the music,
Mhm.
the little dolls. Did you make them? Are they, you know, are they considered dolls or puppets?
They're dolls, but we used the play motion animation, which is you see the actual hands on the dolls moving them around. And no one's ever actually made a puppet movie like that before, and that's what I do for a living. I'm a puppeteer, but you could see my hands puppeteering dolls and toys like for Hasbro, Mattel, like you name it.
Oh.
You've seen my hands for like a decade and a half doing toy commercials. So I was like, why hasn't anyone done a feature film like this? And I started writing it in COVID, which was like, how do I make a movie without people in it? Oh yeah, I'm a puppeteer.
Ah,
So it all kind of worked out.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I just think to even come up with the idea and like John said, you created your own path. It's different, it's exciting. And to have, you know, put so much work into you know, a project like that, I think is, you know, amazing. In addition to everything else you've done. So show us your hands. Let's see your hands. You're a hand model, one of the world's most famous hand models. Beautiful hands. Yeah.
They are little kid hands. They look like little kid hands on screen. So like if I wasn't in the picture, you couldn't tell if it was like an adult holding it or not.
Okay.
The magic of Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now
Well,
we know.
I am, you know, I guess it is because of the fact that you came out of the East Coast, New York City, that she was able to take the way that I would work with writers. Because anybody I've ever worked with, you know, will tell you I'm not the most cordial of people when it gets to what's on the page, because I try to really get the point across that you're not really writing for you. You're writing for A, what's on the screen, and B,
The audience.
for the producer that you're hoping will put up money to make your project. And then, of course, there's you got to write about something you know the audience is going to enjoy. And what's on the page, even though it might have come from your heart, it means absolutely nothing. And we're talking screenwriting here, folks, not prose, not writing for a book, where the most you can get out of you is really the best. But in screenwriting, it's the least amount of words on the page wins, and so every word has to have a meaning, and every scene has to be able to lead into the next scene, or if it leads you hanging for a scene that will take place 18 pages away, something like that. And I would get rather, certainly in California or in LA, people who would be like, "Oh, you're so abrasive." Yeah, but I get the point across. And if they take it, they take it. And if they don't take it,
Yeah, I
that's
just
okay.
have to interrupt because I lived in New York City for a year, and that's what I loved about New York. I hate if someone's trying to dance around constructive criticism with me, I don't catch on always. Like if you're trying to do it very politely, I may not catch on. So I need direct communication. I always tell people, just be direct with me. And even if I get offended or I disagree or whatever, I'll go away and think about it and come back. And, you know, I love collaboration. You always end up with a better project when you collaborate with other people. But I get it, John, and I love it. I mean, you know, I've never seen that in you because you haven't critiqued anything I've done, but I think you're the nicest guy ever. But I love the direct approach that the New Yorkers have. That's what I really loved about New York City. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Vera. Thank you, Kelly. Vera, I'm very honored to have been considered that by you, and I'm very proud of everything that you've ever done.
Thank And you too, your books,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
you were still working on
Another
the boss
overachiever.
sits in the back in the day. You were still
You know,
working on that.
it does dazzle me. You know, the book's been out for 12 years. It's still selling. I
Yeah.
do readings, at least 3 or 4 readings a year that for places that want to hear that book again.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but again, this ain't about me. It's about you. So you started. You came out of New York. You went to L.A.
hmm
Tell us about it. Tell us
What
about.
what took you to LA? Why did you go to LA from New York?
Well, I wanted to, like, my dream has always been to be in Hollywood. I never thought I would actually make it, but one of my other side careers when I was in New York was I'm still to this day a professional beauty makeup artist. Hit me up, ladies.
Mm.
I try, and I did makeup on this like total B-list actress back in New York at the Chelsea Hotel, like, stepping over dead bodies and stuff to get to the hotel room. The photographer was like,
Kelly, you have to understand 23rd Street and the Chelsea.
20,
Is that near Hell's Kitchen?
Wait. Was that 23rd or 14th
yeah,
Street?
no, 23rd Street.
23rd, yeah.
23rd Street. Everyone goes there to die. It's like our Chateau Marmont in New
It's
York.
exactly. It's where I think Sid Vicious or killed
Yep,
his
yep.
girlfriend.
Yep.
Isn't that called Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah. No.
That's Chelsea. We're in Chelsea.
Yeah,
It's
Chelsea is a different
Okay.
section.
I lived in Soho when I was there.
okay.
There you go.
Wonderful.
But the Chelsea Hotel is famous for its decadence, especially
Okay.
back. And then I think like somebody back in the 50s or 60s, some great writer. I'm sure somebody will be like, John, how come you didn't know about that? Or who it was, but it was some great writer committed suicide there, and then it almost became somewhat of a ritual.
Yeah, to die there of an OD. Yeah, it's our Chateau Marmont.
Yeah.
And this photographer, they were doing a photo shoot, and I came in and I did the makeup, and he loved my work, and he's like, hey, I got a couch in LA if you ever want to do makeup for me and sleep on this couch and come out to LA. And I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound like danger or anything. I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Go live with some
that's how I
strange
got
guy in
out
LA.
to LA. That was my intro to LA. Like, welcome to LA.
Oh, and so were you a trained makeup artist, or you just have a good eye?
Self-taught, and then I was actually working my way through the ranks of like a runway makeup artistry in New York, and basically my career was taking off in that way, and I just left it all behind and I came out to LA too, because the real heart and soul of me was to filmmaking. I just never knew anything about it, so I just decided, hey, I'm gonna learn in the place where they make the stuff. So I came out here and I just learned from everyone that I could, like Jon. Like, Jon helped me with the writing, and then I learned editing, and I learned puppeteering. I learned everything, like wardrobe. I cook, whatever it takes. Like, indie is indie. You lie, cheat, steal, and murder to get the project done. And I've done everything short of murder, but
Oh,
it's
good.
only Saturday, so maybe
I was going to say, boy, I'm glad you cleared that up, but okay.
What was the process to do this apocalypse love story? Apocalypse love, right?
Yeah.
So what was the process? Like, where did you start writing the story?
I started writing, and I had the script ready, and then it took me about a year to do the pre-production. I didn't make these. These were I found a doll maker on Etsy who lives in Slovenia.
Oh.
So over COVID and I was getting one doll at a time sent to me from Slovenia through lockdown, and I had to finish the script first so I knew how many dolls to make, and then basically everyone I called, the whole movie was made with 3 people, me, another puppeteer, and my camera dude. And then just one day I had 2 other.
Is that how it's going to be listed on the credits? Camera dude?
Camera dude.
Camera dude?
Scott Baker, my wonderful DP. And I had one other puppeteer with me. So it was just the 3 of us and the dolls for most of the 7 out of the 8 shooting days. And then I sat down and I did editing for the next 8 months, because it was still like the world was not really open. It wasn't, I wish I did even more creative things during lockdown, because this we had the opportunity, we had the time, and and this is kind of like what came out of that, and then finished it, put it into distribution with Dark Side Releasing, picked it up, and now it's on like horror streaming sites, and I put it in a bunch of film festivals. It actually premiered at the Chinese Theater at the Golden State Film Festival. We won the Grand Prix for Best Animated Feature. So I was like,
Wow.
I think I have something here.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Do you have plans to do more, or are you kind of
Yes.
want to take a break?
I would love to. Like my grand evil plan is to make this into a TV series because it's so fast. It's puppet animation, so it's fast. They don't mess up their lines. Like, the worst thing that could happen is a puppeteer is drunk in the corner, but that's okay. It's not the worst thing that could happen.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I think that's a great idea to carry on with it. And the dolls are so
Yeah.
cute too. It makes it.
And it's great because it's like for the kids. I want a piece of Tim Burton's pie because they're all gothy and they're emo and they're kind of creepy, and it's a zombie alien thing, and it's a love story, and it's just I don't know if you caught from the trailer, but he digs up his dead ex-girlfriend who happened to be her bestie, and he brings her to her house, and she decides to play a horrible trick on him by saying, "Hey, I could raise her from the dead with magic if you just go out into the zombie apocalypse and get me these things." And it becomes a quest for him to get the ingredients, even though she's tricking him and she's his ex-girlfriend. It's a love triangle with a living girl and a dead girl.
Okay.
And zombies and aliens, John. Zombies and aliens.
I love it. I'm obviously, my book Dead Fellas was the zombie book, and
It was. That's what we were reading, the Dead Fellas screenplay when I met you.
and there you go. And my next book is about aliens. So
Perfect.
there you go.
We're right there. We're right there with each other. I think that's the future. Zombies and aliens.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I just love.
So
I hope people go and see the trailer. We'll put the website up too, so people
Oh yes, please.
can see it.
if so, what at what point did you say puppets? I'm gonna do puppets.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a puppeteer by trade. That's what I do. I'm in the toy industry as a puppeteer for toys. Like you've seen my hands. Like I'm the hand that turns Barbie's head in the commercial. I'm the fist that launches the Hot Wheels car on the close-up. Like that. That has been my thing for like 15 years, and I'm still doing it to this day when I can. And so I was like, you know what? IP is king. To bring it back to the thing, I needed to create something that could be merchandised.
Tell the audience what IP means. I know Kelly knows, but the audience may not know.
Intellectual property.
That is
So
correct.
that like if you have a property, it can be sold. You get licensing fees, merchandising, and I really, really want to get these merchandised.
Yeah. Kids will love them.
Oh yeah, they are so
Notebooks
cute.
and lunch boxes and
Yes,
clothes.
I want a
yeah.
piece of all of that. That like John says, life's a slice. Merchandise. I want a slice of the merchandise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Big. That's big. Yeah. Well, have you guys ever heard of Baby Shark?
Of course.
That silly little video on YouTube, and now there's all the merchandise for it, and it's huge. It's kids love it.
And they
songs
and they just made a feature film from Skibbity Toilet. I mean, if I talk about
yeah, yep, amazing. That's so
And
funny.
I can't get a $30 million mob story made. Go figure.
you can, it'll happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
just gotta
look
be
at the
right
Penguin. That
time.
was a mob story.
I-
You just have
you
to
know-
set yours in Gotham. That's all.
I know, and then I always used to joke, people would say, I can't believe you haven't gotten that made. You can't. And I said, at some point, maybe if I turn it into an animated feature, that's when they'll pick up on it. And you never know. I mean, look, exactly all the things that you were talking about are the way things seem to be, or not seem to be.
I think so. Also,
Results.
I think independent film is going to be king very soon, because unless the big studios figure out how to not make $250 million movies, they're going to have to go in our direction of indie filmmakers, and as you can see from box office, the theaters are getting filled with like Terrifier and these more indie movies like Anon, like even I think The Substance, which was my favorite movie of the year. That was the really cheap movie to make. I think it was like 25
Is that
to
the one
50
with
million
Demi
dollars.
Moore? It's on my list. Yeah. I
Oh,
want to see that
girl,
one. I want to
you
see
are
it.
gonna love. It's my #1 movie of the year. Like
Oh,
Chef's Kiss. It's all about the beauty industry in Hollywood and grotesque nastiness that like just
oh wow.
yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want to see that. Yeah, I think our whole world and the entertainment and everything is becoming more about being genuine and real and seeing behind the curtain. That's why podcasts have gotten so big
Oh
instead of the
yeah.
polished news. I always bring this up when and I told John about it. I remember watching CNN once and they're doing these interviews with everybody Zoom. And one lady's dog is barking in the background, which sometimes happens on our podcast with my dogs. But I was like, this is CNN, but we're just getting more real. We're like looking behind the curtain and the facade and becoming more genuine. And I think people want that. There's a desire for that to see, like, you holding the puppets with your hand instead of a cartoon. We're
Mm-hmm.
seeing, oh, somebody's making that move.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see the magic, how it's happening, actually. Seeing the magician, how they're doing the trick instead of just
I
wondering.
think I think the audience, as an audience, we're so fed up with bad CGI that we want to see something organic. Like we want to see that creature suit. We want to see like real blood, real gore, real masks, real creatures, real. And by the way, this whole movie, other than like spaceships, because I couldn't do spaceships without CGI, the whole thing is practical. Like this guy drives a mini car by himself, like he's got a big old wheel like this, and it's just the cutest thing. Everything is practical, everything except lasers and spaceships, but next time.
How cute. Yeah. I think it's just brilliant. I mean, I don't even know how you came up with all of that. Sometimes some of the things I've done, I feel like I don't know where that came from. It came from outside of me. It was just like divine. It's some kind of
It is
divine, magical ideas, and then giving you the creative energy to actually do it, because everybody has ideas. I talk to people all the time, like, I have an idea, and they go on and on and on about it, and then they do nothing with it. And I'm like, well, everybody has ideas. That's nothing special. You have to, make it come to life. So that you did that is amazing and so creative.
And only you can do it too. No, you can't like rely on anyone else. Which is why if you're an indie filmmaker, you go and you learn everything. You learn to edit, you learn to light it, you learn every piece of the puzzle. And then you don't have to rely on anyone, and then your costs are not $30 million.
Yeah.
I mean, $250 million. We want $30 million for Jon.
Yeah, that's all he needs. 30 million. That's not much. That's okay.
Compared to the other studios, that's not much at all.
I know. I agree. And I'm going to check my lottery tickets as soon as we get off this.
Or give your agent a call and tell your agent to call 824.
There is another rule in Hollywood that, you never make a movie with your own money.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet you could get investors. There's a lot of people that want to dabble in that kind of field, that they have the money, but they don't have the creative juices or the time. And so they want to be part of it, but they, need someone like you guys to invest in.
That's right.
So, Vera, what's next on Vera's plate?
Well, right now I'm doing a lot of Scream Queen of the green screen stuff. That's my new little title that I came up with for myself. I'm doing a lot of horror hosting type of things. And I just had a couple of volumes of Treasures of Terror come out. There's 2 more coming out that I know of. So there will be 4 of me hosting these little film shorts. It's like bargain basement Elvira on my part, but I'm okay with that. And so there will be 4 volumes of that.
Where can we see that? Where do we see that?
2 volumes are already available on Amazon. By the way, this movie is also available on Amazon. It's Blu-ray, DVD, and streaming in a couple of free places. If you look, you gotta look. I have them listed on the website, but yeah, Amazon, you can find Apocalypse Love. You can find Treasures of Terror Volume 1 and 2 there too. And the big dream right now is to work on making this into a TV series, which I already have 4 episodes written, and they are so hilarious. Like, if you thought this was crazy, this TV series is like next level. We're talking like butt probes and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not highbrow by any means, and I'm proud of that.
Funny. Oh, awesome.
Well, they're aliens, so what do they do?
That's right. Well, I don't know. Okay, and not to deviate from any of this, but certainly this is timely. Have either of you, because Kelly, you're out there up in Wyoming, and Vera's in Hollywood, and have you heard this news about what's going on in New Jersey and all the drones that are flying over military bases?
Oh, yeah.
But they're the size of SUVs, and they're not being picked up on radar. And there's talk about them being absolute UFO, or whatever the new acronym is for it now, UAP, or look into it, especially if you're into wanting to know what the hell's going on with potential aliens coming here. And of course, my big thing is New Jersey.
Yeah, why would they pick New Jersey?
But I'm not gonna bitch too much because, like I said, my next book is regarding aliens, and it deals with somebody from New Jersey who deals with the aliens. So maybe I'm just ahead of my time. Not years ahead of my time, only several months ahead of my time. But just so you know, yeah, that's what's going on. There's a lot going. There's going to, if they determine whatever this might be, it may have some alien aspects to it. You're right on the money too, Vera.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I actually did hear about that, and I think New Jersey is the most hilarious place. It would be like, "Hey, yo, alien, how you doing?"
That's what I was thinking. Maybe some. How they say. We've been shooting all of our TV beams out into space. So maybe a passing ship caught the Soprano episodes,
and they were like, "Hey,"
and they're like, "Hey, we got to go check this out." They don't know that it's a bullshit story. It's like, hey, and they're in West Caldwell, New Jersey. We're gonna go do, and Newark and stuff, and who knows what
Well, I only read the headline. So you're saying that they, like, government officials are validating that this is real. They've seen
the governor is doing an investigation on it, and mayors have come forth, and I mean, almost every night.
But just over the military bases, nowhere else?
No, it's over residential areas.
Okay, so all over.
And yeah, I mean, if you go on and YouTube it, there's video, and not just once, but over the course of the last few weeks, anywhere from one drone or ship to several flying in V formations. It's very interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I always think that that's too far out, so I never pay attention to anything about that stuff. That's why I saw the headline and I didn't read it. But I have a theory, take it or leave it, that we are creating our reality. We are creating our future with our visions in the entertainment field. People that write books, I mean, like the books that have been written that were so far ahead of their time, and movies and TV shows. And now, all this talk of aliens has become so prevalent in our culture that are we creating that? Are we, something to think about? We talk about manifesting, a lot of people believe in manifestation of their dreams and hopes. And so maybe, yeah. So I just like to always think that is a possibility. And if we are creating our reality, I think we all better get on the same page and do some work, get together and spread some love. So anyway.
Well, the funny thing is my last feature film before this one was called Breaking Barbie, and I think it was like 5 years ahead of its time on the humor, because it was a spoof on.
I remember that one, and I thought you were fantastic in that.
It's a spoof on influencers and aliens.
Yes.
Like the lead character is this influencer that does squats, and the whole thing is like making fun of, she's so busy looking at her phone she misses an alien invasion happening in the background. And that is just like how I see the current situation. I was just like, it was such a hated movie in 2017, but I think now a new audience could look at it with the new eyes of like how we all know that influencers are just full of BS, and like, okay, that I see what Vera was doing there, and it would make more sense now.
There you go.
That's funny that you bring up the influencers, because as I just said a little while back, I think people are looking for something more real, more genuine. But then the influencers are also fake, and the filters they put on their faces. And it's such a, the opposites of what, I think some people are craving truth and honesty and genuine.
And we can't find it anywhere. Where is it?
Yeah. And then, but like Pamela Anderson coming out wearing no makeup now, I think that was very brave of her. And of course, she's beautiful. So
it helps.
It's easy to not wear makeup when you look beautiful not wearing makeup. But that she's doing it, because she's always been such the glamour queen. And of course, then reality television, which is not really reality television. So maybe I'm wrong about that theory about people really craving truth and genuine
but now everyone is way more aware that this is all filtered, this is fake, they're getting paid to influence you. Like, we're all aware of that, and now we can make a more informed choice of like, do we really want this eyeshadow pushed by this influencer that got paid to push it upon me?
Right. Even within, our I call them the entertainment news hosts, paid to tell us what to think and what to believe. And so I guess there is a lot of still, it's fake, but we know now. So that's one step forward until we get to where we, can be really genuine. Well, it's been delightful to chat with you and hear about Apocalypse Love. I have a hard time saying Apocalypse Love. And it's just adorable. I mean, the way you did it is just so impressive. Your creativity, and that you did it all yourself. And wow, I hope everybody gets to go and see it and look for it on Amazon. So we'll put the link up so they can find you. Yeah.
Thank you. And please come back on or during your next project, after your next project.
Of course.
Whatever works for you. We'd be happy to talk.
Of course. Thank you.
I know our audience is going to enjoy this.
They've got to go see we've got to push them, nudge them to go see it, because once you see it, I probably would have scrolled by it because I didn't know what it was. I'm like, oh, look at those little dolls. They're cute. But when you stop and watch it, you just can't look away.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So awesome. All right.
Thank you, Vera.
Thanks, Vera. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All views expressed in this video belong to Kellie Nicholson, Jon D'Amore, and guests. These discussions do not represent the opinions of any entity whatsoever with which they have been affiliated now or will be in the future. The opinions expressed are solely theirs, and since they are critically thinking human beings, these views are subject to change, subject to revision, and subject to rethinking at any time. These conversations are not meant to be taken as advice and are only for the purpose of entertainment. All statements may be based on hearsay and not necessarily valid proof of any claims in this video. It is not our intention to teach or advise on any topic. Unless otherwise noted, all photos are public domain.
Thanks for watching A Slice of Life with Kellie and Jon.